men, just educated radio operators, did not want to stop being radio operators. Like 190,000 men. Theft of military property became a plague, and so did Missbrauch von Heeresgerät, that misuse of military property. Finally, during the November Revolution of 1980, just like other workers and soldiers, they formed committees and councils. They seized control of the Wolfsche Telegrafenbüro, by that time the biggest broadcaster for radio telecommunication in Germany. They use this to organize the revolution, send out communiques, messages, news, all this stuff. And they tried to establish a different kind of radio organization, the Zentralfunkrat. The Zentralfunkrat had believed that they were the one authority in Germany for broadcasting. This is too much, but and they they tell all the other broadcasters what they have to do. All the radio people, they say, well, now we are the ones, and this phenomenon is dubbed Funkerspuk. And for the first time, the information broadcasting monopoly of the Reichspostministerium was questioned. Before that, there did not exist private radio communications companies like they did in the US. Everything was right under the thumb of the Reichspostministerium. The revolution fails and these ideas are shattered. There is a Reichsfunkkommission who's supposed to organize broadcasting in Germany, and where this Zentralfunkrat even gets a say, but it's just one of many groups that have a say there. And a year later, there's another organization, the Reichsfunkbetriebsverwaltung, and Hans Bredow comes into the picture again. So the Zentralfunkrat is not, it does not have any power after the revolution fades, so it sinks into oblivion. Hans Bredow is very important at that point because he's more right-wing person, so he likes order, and he is very energetic, and he makes sure that radio again comes under the thumb of the Reichspostministerium. There remains not much left of the Zentralfunkrat in the form German broadcasting has developed since then, but the fear of uncontrolled radio communication. Friedrich Kittler writes, I'm going to read this quotes, the German quotes in German, and you can look at them in English because I like some of the words so much that, I think the people who understand German should have the pleasure of hearing them in the original. Massenkommunikation, mit anderen Worten, wird erst zugelassen, wenn es alles zu konsumieren oder zu hören gibt und nichts mehr abzuhören. Rezeption ist nur ein Euphemismus für systematisch verstellte Interzeption. This alludes to the fact that the military managed to hinder the development of public broadcasting until they had enough encryption in place to not be afraid anymore on the one side, and on the other, that radio apparatuses that were allowed to go into mass production in Germany had to only be able to receive a very narrow frequency band and be absolutely not usable for transmission themselves. Information through broadcasting was not so much perceived as something democratic, something freeing from restrictions, but as something dangerous to governmental power and therefore to be tamed. So I guess I was a little bit early with this one. Yeah, the strictly passive apparatuses. So, So after all these control issues are sorted out, broadcasting is finally established in the Weimar Republic in 1923 and is completely state-owned. And not just state-owned, but completely controlled too. Again, a German quote that I was not able to translate, but I'm going to tell you what it means afterwards. Eine allgemeine Freigabe der Benutzung von Empfangsapparaten zur Aufnahme beliebiger Nachrichten, wie sie in einigen Ländern erfolgt ist, in denen der Staat sich mit der Beförderung drahtloser Nachrichten im inneren Verkehr nicht befasst, hat seine großen Bedenken, denn es würde damit jedermann technisch möglich werden, alle in der Luft befindlichen Nachrichten abzuhören. So what the Reichspostministerium in this case is afraid of that, well, if you just let everybody free and receive radio messages of any kind, like it happens in other states, and this is a very clear punch in the direction of the US, well, then it would be possible for everybody to intercept every message. That cannot be. That has to be avoided. Yeah, there are still radio amateurs left over, but yeah, oh, I did translate it. I already forgot. Okay, here there is. But, it's just, yeah, one would think that this is what radio is all about, but not in Germany. So I have this quote from Kittler, who quotes it too. Friedrich Kittler, he wrote a whole article about rock music as misuse of military property. And as plausible as Kittler may sound, what he says does not apply for other countries as much as for Germany, which is kind of obvious by now, but it is quite telling that the newsletter character of radio and its exceptional potential to distribute news was clearly recognized, but the consequence that freedom of the press applied to radio too was not. The resulting non-private radio program was marked by a multitude of rules and subjugation under a censoring inspection authority. Entertainment and official news were allowed. Politics, widely understood as party politics, were not. This may sound harmless, but I want to go into more detail here. Yeah, this quote, im Original den Ansprüchen der Weimarer Verfassung entsprechend, war eine moralisch zu rechtfertigende Heiterkeit anzustreben. This is about entertainment. And another one. In Germany, nobody really cared what the public actually wanted to listen to. That is, man wollte angesichts der Konkurrenz der Sendegesellschaften und der allgemeinen Radio-Euphorie gar nicht genau wissen, was die Hörer wünschen. This is a clear difference to the United States, where the advertising-financed big broadcasters, of course, made tests and everything and really tried to find out what people wanted to listen to, not in this case. And the other important point, the only entity allowed to use radio broadcasting for politics was the government. This means, it is strange because, you know, government usually belongs to a party, but party politics are not allowed on the radio. So there lies this strange notion that the government, regardless of to which party it belongs, will say the right thing, the important thing is the one to be listened to, and yeah. So, and entertainment, of course, in Germany, entertainment, what's that? It's like, you want to be entertained, why? So, leisure is work. There actually are people that try to justify the broadcasting of entertainment, because when you listen to music and stuff when you get home from work, then you'll be less bored and better able to work the next day. This is a really important justification for entertainment in Germany. Yeah, some numbers. 10% of broadcasting time was dedicated to news and information, 30% to entertainment, and 60% to education. And this is really reversed to their popularity. There was one big inspection of like one time what people wanted to hear, and they were very interested in news. of course, they wanted entertainment too, and education comes somewhere on the 10th place of I don't know how many. But and the interesting thing here is that those news are sent at times where only, let's say, the bourgeoisie is able to listen to them. So there is one news broadcasting at in the middle of the day, I guess about 2 o'clock, and there's another one lately in the evening about 11 o'clock, and these are either times where workers are in the factory or workers are sleeping. So this kind of makes sure that really only the right people hear the news. Nobody here should not. Maybe they could understand anything, I don't know. Yeah, these are the mainstays of Weimar Republic radio politics. There's a lot of legislation after that, but this stays in place, basically. Yeah, this was that. Then, who cares? Well, in Germany, it really is only those who have to. Most decisions are made behind closed doors. There is no such thing as a public debate. And I cannot repeat this like often enough. There is no such thing as a public debate. The public just, well, they're doing this, and, you know, they are the government, so they will be right. More does not seem to happen. No such thing like 6,000 letters to Herbert Hoover or anything. There just is no interest in it. Something like the patent war of AT&T and WHM would not have been possible or necessary in Germany at that time because, of course, the legal system is different, but AT&T basically had to drop that patent because of public interest, because of a public debate, because it was, a public relations debacle. And where there is no discussion, a public relations debacle cannot happen. There's another typically German issue at this point. Germany does not only have very restrictive licensing for radio amateurs, but licensing for listeners. So in the first, 6 years of radio broadcasting, you have to apply for a license and get a stamp on your machine to just be allowed to receive broadcasting. And those first apparatus are pretty expensive. There circulate manuals how to build one for yourself. Of course, many people do that. But for licensing for listening, you have to pay. And many people don't. So there are some estimates that at one point or another there were millions of people, black listeners. And what to do about it? Well, you set a price for somebody who denunziert seine Nachbarn. Well, basically, if you tell 5 people to the police, you know, that are black listeners, you get a prize of money or a real radio apparatus or something. And one student in Frankfurt am Main is said to have actually found and told the police about 1,500 black listeners. Stupid idea, but then there is the first German Funkausstellung, what I have included because, of course, the Funkausstellung still happens today, and some of you might have been there one time or another. There's more propaganda for licensing listening, and is more or less successful, but of course not in the millions. And in one sweet book of Heinz Pohle, I found this classification of broadcasting, ways to organize broadcasting. Pohle is interesting because he basically likes the German system, although he's really clear of his shortfalls. He knows completely what is wrong with it, but he is still of the opinion that, well, it was necessary. It had to be that way. Germany was just not, ripe enough for a real, unregulated broadcasting. So he says there's broadcasting as a